Hello everyone and welcome to a new vlog. If you are new here, my name is Sarah and I create lifestyle content focused on simple living, minimalism, and parenthood. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys some things that help our home to feel tidy and calm while having a 3-month-old. So, to give you a little bit of a background on what's been going on, we had our baby back in the beginning of January and she was born a month early, and it has been complete chaos in our household. I don't think we realized how difficult it was going to be to transition into parenthood, and the sleep deprivation with the lack of time has been really challenging for us, and Andrew and I have struggled a lot. And it wasn't until very recently, so it's been a few months, until we have felt like we are starting to get a hold of things and to create a routine and just feel a lot better and a lot calmer and more peaceful in our lives again. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the adjustments that Andrew and I made within our household, in hopes that maybe if you are struggling with these things, they can help you too. But before we get started, I do have a disclaimer, and I just want to say, first of all, our house is definitely not always tidy now, so I don't want to make it seem like I have a super clean house and that everyone who has a baby can have a super clean house. That is not the case. And two, what works for us is not necessarily going to work for you. I've watched so many TikToks and Reels offering tips for parenthood, and there are so many things that we have tried that have not worked for us, and it's just because every baby is different, everyone's situation is different. So if I share something that doesn't resonate with you or you know is not going to work for you, just ignore it. Don't be upset by it, because obviously not everything works for everybody. So I'm just going to share what Andrew and I have been doing that we have found to be really helpful, and hopefully some of it will be helpful for you guys as well. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about things that have helped our household and our baby to feel more calm. And the number one thing, and a thing that is very challenging, is addressing our triggers as parents. So Andrew and I have become very aware of the things that really bother us, and we are actively trying to address those things and find ways to resolve them in a way that does not impact our relationship and our relationship with the baby, because we want to present ourselves in the most calm way as possible around the baby so that our stress does not transfer over to the baby, because that's just going to make everybody unhappy. It's really interesting how the way that we handle situations and our energy levels impact the baby's energy levels and whether she is going to be calm or if it's going to feed into her being upset. So we want to try to keep ourselves as calm as possible and as happy as possible so that baby can be as happy as possible. So what this means is, if we are having a really tough time, say the baby is crying a lot and we can't do it anymore, we have a headache, we've been with the baby all day, we will let the other parent know and we will pass the baby to them and we will go take a break, whether that means just sitting by ourselves and reading a book for a little while, taking a shower, whatever it is, just passing the baby to the other person and getting away from the situation so that you can calm yourself down and get into a better mind space. Another thing that we do is working on kind of zoning out, and I know that sounds weird because you want to be present with your baby, but when you are really struggling, and I think I was listening to a Montessori podcast. Andrew and I really are trying to implement Montessori and REI practices into our parenting approach, and so we were listening to a podcast and it talked about creating, really thinking about what your happy place is and using that as a tool to deal with challenging situations in parenthood. So we just think about our happy place, we visualize it when things are getting really hard and maybe we can't pass the baby to the other parent. You'll be surprised at how well that works to kind of calm you down. It's really crazy, and just doing something like that just for a few minutes can really change your attitude and make you feel a lot better, and in turn kind of make the situation feel a lot better and more calm. Related to this is working on communication with your partner. So having good communication is so important for creating a happy, calm household. Andrew and I have been pretty good with this throughout our whole relationship, so this is something that you should be utilizing, I guess, even if you don't have a baby, but just in any relationship, is really focus on talking through things when you are having disagreements rather than raising your voice or getting aggressive, because that just makes everybody unhappy and it doesn't really solve anything, and you don't want to be yelling and getting frustrated around your baby because that's just going to make them frustrated and stressed out. So really focusing on having conversations with your partner when things are bothering you, to just talk to them about it, keeping an open line of communication instead of bottling it up, because when you bottle it up, you're going to be more likely to get over frustrated and let it all out in a way that you might not be happy with. And additionally, this is a pretty obvious one, but I feel like I want to say it anyways, making sure that you are telling them the things that you need help with, because your partner is not a mind reader, and a lot of times, like, I notice, like, there's things that I wish Andrew would just do as if he should know that I need help with this or that, when there is no way for him to know that. He is not me, so he cannot read my mind. Sorry guys, I took a little break to take care of Pee-wee and a pump, and now the lighting is completely different. It's sunny out, so I apologize for that. But yeah, what I was saying is just to be honest with your partner about what you need from them, and that will help you so much. So if there's something that I'd really like to do, like film a YouTube video or edit or do some research for Etsy, I'll let Andrew know, and I'll make sure that he is able to take care of the baby during that time. Or if I'm just feeling overwhelmed and I need Andrew to go make the bottle while I'm comforting the baby, or if I've forgotten to eat all day, which crazily enough does happen. I don't know, I used to think, like, how does someone forget to eat, but that does happen. I'll ask Andrew if he can make me something, instead of just like assuming he knows that I didn't eat all day and that he should make me food. Yeah, stuff like that. It really helps. Just talk to your partner, let them know what you need, and work together to make sure each other are happy. Tip number 3 is to pay attention to lighting and background noise. Lighting your house with lamps when possible rather than the overhead lights makes such a more cozy atmosphere, and it's also a lot gentler on baby's eyes. And lighting some candles can create such a cozy vibe. And it sounds so funny, but I think for the first few months of baby's life, I completely forgot to light candles. Like, I don't think I lit a candle once, and I'm somebody who really loves candles. I really feel like they can change the mood of a space. The candles that I really like are just plain beeswax candles, unscented beeswax candles. I really like the glow. They have like this really nice yellowy glow to them, and also because they're unscented, they have like a slight whatever that beeswax scent is, but they're not a strong scent, so it doesn't bother our noses and it doesn't bother baby's nose. But yeah, it sounds silly, but lighting can have such a big impact on the atmosphere of your home. So just play around with it and see what you like and what makes your home feel coziest. Oh, I also want to talk about red light, because I found this to be so helpful. So if you have a sound machine, you might have the option to choose the light colors right on the machine. We have the Hatch, and it gives us the option to choose red light. And we use that at night, and it's been so helpful for helping us to stay sleepy during night feeds. But if you don't have a sound machine that changes color, you can buy red light bulbs for lamps. We have one in our room as well. When you're waking up a lot in the night to feed the baby, the last thing you want is to wake yourself up so much that you can't go back to sleep, and then you stay there laying in bed trying to fall asleep, and suddenly it's time for the next feed and you haven't slept at all. With regard to background noise, this one is an interesting one. I mentioned earlier that I'm really interested in Montessori and REI parenting practices. I've read a lot about how important it is to be mindful of background noise, because it can be really distracting to babies and prevent them from hearing natural sounds that are going on around them. And this is particularly true of having a TV on in the background. While it's really important, obviously, for babies to hear other people talking because it helps them to develop their own language skills, this is something that should be done socially, so something that you should do with your baby face to face. Having the TV on in the background has been shown to reduce language learning, and that's because babies have a really hard time differentiating between sounds. When you're talking to them in person, you are engaging with them, you have facial expressions, you're using hand gestures and all of that, and it helps them to learn what words mean. So Andrew and I have been very conscious of trying to keep TV background noise to a minimum, and this is something we're really bad at for a while, because between her bedtime at 7 and her dream feed at 10, we would sit in the bedroom and watch movies, and she would be in there with us contact napping, so she would have the TV on in the background, and it would really distract her from her nap, and she wasn't getting good sleep during that time. And since we've stopped doing that, she's been sleeping so much better. And we're also very mindful of music throughout the day. We have dedicated times where we like to listen to music with her, whether that be music that we like or baby music like Rafi. I love his songs, but we try not to keep music on all day long, because we find that it keeps her more calm and focused on what she's doing. So if she's on her play mat kicking her feet, sounds so funny, she likes to kick parchment paper, so we'll put parchment paper underneath her butt and let her kick it with her feet, and she loves to hear the sound of that. She loves to hear the jingling of her mobile if she accidentally hits it. So we try to be careful and mindful of the fact that we don't want to overstimulate her and distract her from all the things that she's doing and could be listening to. At the same time though, I found that when she is very upset and crying, listening to music can help her calm down, especially in times when we're waiting for her bottle to heat up and she's really, really upset. She likes to listen to Beyonce. It's so funny. Beyonce, the second I turn it on, she calms down. She stops crying and just stares, and we kind of dance around and stuff, and she really likes that. All right, so moving on to things that have helped us to have a tidier home. My first tip here, and I hate to say this, I feel bad even including this as a tip, but I have to say it because it is so true. Letting go of the expectations you have of what you think your house should look like relieves so much stress. And I feel bad saying this because, first of all, I don't know how helpful this is going to be, because like when people tell this to me, I mean, it doesn't help me, but it is impossible to do everything that you want to do in a day. It's so hard. Like keeping your house clean and organized, taking care of your baby, bonding with your baby and just having fun with them, working on any projects that you want to get done, taking care of yourself. Like it is so hard to get all of that done in a day. And sometimes you need to just let go, accept that your house is going to be messy for a few days, and just focus on other things. And I know that is not a helpful tip, but it has relieved so much stress for me, because I hate having a disastrous house. I really, really do. And it's even worse when you have people coming over to visit your baby and you feel the need to like clean, but you just don't have the time, and it's so stressful. And you kind of just have to say, you know, it is what it is, and just let it be sometimes. And that's really, really hard. And I don't have any advice on how to deal with that, because I don't deal with that very well myself. But it is very freeing if you can allow yourself to do that. But for actual tips that will help you to keep your home tidy, the one thing that Andrew and I started doing that has made the biggest difference, and this might be so obvious to you guys, and you might be wondering why we weren't doing this before, but switching on and off who is doing the bedtime routine. This has given us so much more time. So for some reason, Andrew and I were both doing Luna's bedtime routine. And what we would do is we'd start at like around 7. We'd give her a bath. We'd bring her into bed. We'd read books. We would give her bottle. And then we would let her contact nap on us, because she wants to contact nap on us at that time. And we'd let her sleep, and we'd watch movies together in bed until 10. So that is like a 3-hour span of time where we're both preoccupied with the baby or just sitting in bed. And instead, what we do now is we alternate who is taking care of the baby during that time and who is having the free time to do what they need to get done around the house or personal time or whatever. We very recently started doing this, like I think like a week and a half ago. Since we started doing this, our house is so much more clean. We have a very small apartment, so it doesn't take a super long time to clean things, but having those few hours to get stuff done, like we can get our whole house tidy during that time. I'm not saying that we spend those entire 3 hours cleaning our house every day, but it just kind of depends on the status of the house. If the house is a really big mess, then it might take us that full amount of time to get everything ready. We also do like the bottle prep for nighttime during that time and washing up like all the pump parts and everything. But sometimes it will take us the whole time, and other times it'll just take us like a half an hour, 45 minutes. We'll get the house clean. I might take like a long shower. I might work on my YouTube stuff and relax while Andy has the baby. And when it's his turn to do house stuff, he might clean for a short amount of time and then go play some video games or something. So we allow it to be personal time for us. But having it as the option, like setting that as a dedicated time to tidy up the house, has helped so much. And our house is honestly so much better. I've been so embarrassed because I feel like I've been having like really struggling the past few months to even have the house look relatively clean. It's been so bad. But since we've been doing this the last week and a half or so, it's made such a big difference. I feel like I can wake up and my house is tidy every day, and that kind of like feeds into the whole calmness thing, because when my house is clean, I feel so much better. I feel calmer. I feel more relaxed. That makes everyone in the house happier, and it's just so nice. The second tip that I have for keeping your house tidy is to allow your baby to have uninterrupted independent playtime, which might sound weird to you if you're not into the Montessori REI parenting stuff. Sorry guys, we have a guest joining us. She was upset. Poor baby. But yeah, what I was saying was allowing Luna to have independent, uninterrupted play has been really, really helpful for us, and it's also been great for her. And I feel like I have to say, because I know that I'm going to get some horrible comments, when I say this, I don't mean that I just let my baby sit by herself all day and I don't attend to her and give her cuddles and talk to her and play with her. Of course I do all that. It's just I also allow her time to play independently without me bothering her and interrupting her from what she wants to do. And so what this looks like is I let her lay on her playmat. We just have a simple playmat for her. And next to the playmat we have a mirror, and then above it we have a mobile. And we're using just simple Montessori mobiles. I actually have had the first one. It's called the Munari mobile. It's just black and white little shapes. I've had that one up the entire time. I haven't switched it, and I just got her the second one, which is the octahedron mobile, and that's just it comes in different colors now, so it's like blue, green, and red, I think are the colors. I don't remember. And they're just like sparkly little shapes dangling, and yeah, she gets so fixated on that. So I'll lay her on her mat, and sometimes I'll put the parchment paper under her feet, and other times I won't. And she will sit there for a good 15 to 20 minutes and be so happy and entertained. And so what this means for us is that we have a good 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes even 20 minutes, where we can get stuff done around the house. Like obviously we don't just leave her and stay in another room and not check on her. We're usually in the same room as her when we're doing stuff. Just so that we can keep an eye on her, but it still gives us a little chunk of time throughout the day to get stuff done that we need to do. And like if you're doing this once every wake window, like that's a handful of times a day that you have to get stuff done. You'd actually be surprised at like how much you can get done in 15-20 minutes. It's quite a bit. So that's been really helpful for us to utilize that time properly. And it's also so good for babies. You're not only teaching them to play independently as they get older, which you're going to want, but it also helps them to develop their concentration, because if you're sitting next to them and you keep interrupting them and saying, look at this, look at that, look at that, then they're not able to focus on the things that they're interested in. Aww. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Do you want to join Mama in her video? Oh yeah, Luna has been talking a lot lately. Yeah, you've been talking. Yeah. Oh, sweet girl. But yeah, it's just something that's really good for them and really good for us. So I highly recommend trying it out and see if you like it. See if your baby will... Hi. See how your baby does with it and see if you can get some stuff done. Okay, so those are the tips that Andrew and I have for having a calmer and more tidy home. I hope that you guys have found this helpful. I know that there's just so much information out there and it can be very overwhelming to find stuff that works for you. So if any of this stuff doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it and do what works for you. I thought it would be nice though if people could put any tips they have in the comments of things that really have helped them as first-time parents, because it is such a challenging time. It's such a crazy experience. Yeah, it's a crazy experience and it's so hard, and I feel like and I feel like we can use all the advice we can get. So feel free to leave a comment below and we can use it as a way for parents to help each other out a little bit, right? He's so talkative. I love this. This is like her. She has changed so much in the past few weeks. It is crazy. Like her talking. She's been so much more smiley. She has been kicking so much more and she's using her hands, discovering her hands, trying to put them in her mouth. And this new stage that she is in, I don't know how to describe it, but Andrew and I feel so much happier. It's so cool watching her change, and she's becoming more like a little human, and it's really, really cool. Right? It's really, really cool. You're so cool. But okay, I hope you guys have found this video helpful. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. Luna says she really wants you to subscribe and to like this video, and yeah, leave a comment below, and I would love to hear all the advice you have. So thank you again so much for watching, and we will see you in next week's video.